So this is the guitar that I purchased at the end of 2024, and when I purchased it, it was, let me have a look, it was $1,133 Australian, and now it is $1,099, so it's come down a little bit in price, which is not good for me. But so it was $1,133. Shipping was $193.94, so it was almost $200 shipping. $1,133 total, $1,326. 1,326. That's I purchased at the end of 2024. It's currently worth $576 US and 642 euros. So it's a lot cheaper if you're in the US, of course. And if you're in Australia, you pay double the price, sometimes more than double the price, because, you know, buying a guitar in Australia is pretty much a bit of a rip-off, and I think the companies are quite greedy. You know, you can make excuses like, oh, the shipping, it's from the other side of the world, and blah, 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 this and that. But really, it's about big companies like Thomann and Schecter taking advantage of sweatshop workers and paying them peanuts and selling the finished product for a ridiculously outrageous price and collecting most of the money. So that's what that's all about. So anyway, this is this guitar that I purchased is a 7-string guitar, and it says the Schecter 70th Anniversary Demon 7ASB, but it's not actually Schecter's 70th anniversary. This was Thomann's 70th anniversary, so really it should say Thomann's 70th anniversary Schecter Demon 7, because at the end of last year, Thomann had been around for, they're a German company, they'd been around for 70 years. Having it written like this, Schecter 70th anniversary, makes it sound like it's Schecter's 70th anniversary, but that's not the case. It's Thomann's, ThomannMusic.com. It's their 70th anniversary last year. The end of last year, because we're in 2025 at the moment. So that's the guitar. Nice guitar, looks very nice. When you see the unboxing, you'll notice that there are a few things that are not so nice about it, and I'll go into that when we get to the unboxing. But overall, quite a nice looking guitar. You can see the wood grain through the stain there on the back. I think that's a maple neck. It's a bolt-on. It's a charcoal, they call it charcoal burst, which is a veneer. You can tell that it's a veneer when you look at the, when you look through the cutout there of the tremolo, you can see that it's a thinnish piece of wood that goes over the top. It's a veneer. Nice design. It's a matte finish. It's pretty good with fingerprints. Doesn't leave any fingerprints. I haven't noticed it leaving any fingerprints on it. So it's got the Gothic crosses inlay on the fretboard. It's a Wenge fretboard. There's a volume and tone control, a 3-way selector switch. It's got humbuckers, 2 humbucking pickups, which are branded Schecter. 7 strings. What else? It's an active. It has active pickups. That's why we have the little battery compartment there. It says California, USA on the back, but it's actually made in Indonesia. I don't really know why guitar companies do that. They'll put something USA on it, so it looks good. But you'll find somewhere else, usually on the back of the headstock, it has made in Indonesia or made in Korea or made in China or whatever. So I don't think they should get to say made in, or get to say anything about the USA, really, because it doesn't really have much to do with the USA. Only the fact that Schecter is an American company, a US company that collects all the cash, while the poor workers do all the work. Headstock, same charcoal burst finish there, rather nice. The locking nut, so that's why it doesn't have locking tuners, because the nut itself is locking. Doesn't really matter about the tuners so much. So that's their own tuners as well. Here's where it says made in Indonesia. The cutaway is, it's not really wide enough to, you can get up onto the high notes, but I don't know, it's not as good as it could be to access the higher notes, but it's not too bad. A very sexy looking guitar, I must say, and when it came, it did look pretty good. In these photos, it kind of looks like it has almost a little bit of a brownish tinge to it. I don't really see that on the one that I have. It's just pretty much a dark sort of black colour and grey and greyish, black and grey sort of. Nice finish. This sort of sharp right angle is a bit harsh on the arm after a while. I have another guitar that has a very rounded edge, which is very comfortable. This one's not as comfortable, but it's nice looking. The action was pretty good. The string tension was pretty good to get up some speed playing this guitar. The back of the neck is smooth like a satin finish. It's not a gloss, so easy to move your hand up and down the neck when moving from one position to the next. It's a nice close-up image of the body, the strings, the pickups there. I think when I got mine, this bridge pickup was slightly loose. Fairly good joint there. Now this is the Wenge fretboard. The Wenge fretboard, which is, it looks nice in this image anyway, but you'll see something later on in the unboxing that is not like this. Jumbo frets it's supposed to have, it's fairly jumbo. I don't think they're stainless steel, I think they're nickel. So they don't say stainless steel on this website here either, so that's why I'm thinking they are nickel. Now for over $1,300, you would think that they would put stainless steel frets, because there are a lot of cheaper guitars, much cheaper guitars. There are guitars that are half the price of this Schecter Demon 7 that have stainless steel frets, so I don't know what that's all about. It's about being greedy and not wanting to spend the extra couple of cents. If this has been made in Indonesia, I don't think stainless steel frets would be much more expensive than nickel frets. So yeah, here you see it says, oh, they love to say this, crafted in Indonesia, which just means made in Indonesia. But yeah, use the word crafted as a euphemism. Make it sound as if it was somehow crafted in Indonesia but then put together and made in the USA, which is completely incorrect. The whole thing is made in Indonesia, and the poor old sweatshop workers are doing all the work. Let's have a look at some of the specs. So here it says Thomann 70th anniversary model, which is correct, but up here it says Schecter 70th anniversary. So this is correct, it's Thomann 70th anniversary. So they chose this as the model that the Schecter model of guitar that they were going to. I don't really think it was a special. I mean, if that was celebrating Thomann 70th anniversary, maybe they should have made it a little bit cheaper. Okay, so basswood body, a flame maple top, which is a veneer. The neck is maple, the fingerboard is Wenge. It's got grey perloid Gothic crosses, fingerboard inlays. The neck profile is a thin C. It is quite a comfortable neck. The fretboard radius is 406 millimeters. The scale length is 26.5 inch, which is better for those lower tunings on a 7-string guitar. So that's good. If you want to do that, if you want to use different lower tunings, makes the string tension a little bit less floppy. 673 millimeters, 26.5 inch. The nut width is 48 millimeters. It has 24 extra jumbo frets. I wouldn't say extra jumbo, I would say maybe jumbo, and you can see that it doesn't say stainless steel, it just says jumbo frets, so they're probably nickel frets, doing things on the cheap. The pickups are 2 Schecter Diamond Active HB 105S humbucker neck and bridge. The pickups are okay. it's really what you plug it into, or what amp sim you use, and what type of drive to boost the signal. Volume and tone control, three-way selector switch, licensed Floyd Rose locking tremolo. The Floyd Rose is actually a Floyd Rose Special, which is not special. It's the cheaper, nastier version of the Floyd Rose tremolo systems. For that price, I think they should have put a Floyd Rose 1500 series, which are much better. Some people think that the Floyd Rose Specials are okay, and a lot of people think that they're garbage, so I'm somewhere in between there. It's not the worst tremolo, but it's not the best one either. Schecter machine heads, so yeah, the tuners are Schecter, black hardware, colour, charcoal burst matte. Doesn't even come with a gig bag or a case, nothing. Just comes in a box. I wonder if I type in Harley Benton. If you have a look at this Harley Benton here, which is around the same quality as this Schecter, this one doesn't have a Floyd Rose tremolo on it, but it's cheaper, and it's about a similar quality guitar. It's a couple of $100 cheaper, and it looks pretty similar to the Schecter Demon 7, just without the Floyd Rose on it. But if you have a look at the neck work of this Harley Benton guitar, it's pretty impressive for the price. So it has a neck through. This is a Harley Benton, so just a one-piece neck made with 5 different pieces of wood, very nicely put together, and it's probably $200 or $300 cheaper than the Schecter. So there you go, Schecter, you can make your guitars a bit cheaper. Or is it Thomann putting that price? Do they get the Schecters for a lot cheaper and then put the price up on Thomann? This has got a really nice binding as well, this Harley Benton guitar. Thing is, I wanted a 7-string guitar with a tremolo on it. This has a fixed bridge on it, so had I wanted a guitar with a fixed bridge without the tremolo, I probably would have got this. And the thing about this Harley Benton guitar, I think it's called an Amarok. Harley Benton Amarok 7-string, yeah, okay, flame burst. So it's a similar finish as the Schecter, but it actually has a 5-piece maple/mahogany neck. The top is flame maple veneer. At least they used the word veneer, which it doesn't say that about the Schecter. The body is mahogany. That's quite nice. The fretboard is ebony. Wow. I've got an ebony fretboard, which is, in my opinion, far better than a Wenge fretboard. And you'll see why when you watch the unboxing. Pearloid inlays. Glow-in-the-dark position markers on the fret edge. Similar neck, the modern C. The scale length is 25.5 inch. That's the difference. It doesn't have that 26.5 inch. This seems to have a lot better specs than the Schecter. Here we go. 24 jumbo blacksmith. Okay, 24 jumbo stainless steel frets. So even this Harley Benton Amarok 7-string guitar has stainless steel frets for a few $100 cheaper than the Schecter. So no excuse, Schecter, for not using stainless steel frets. Dual action truss rod. It's got EMG pickups. Another guitar made in Indonesia, but seems to have been made a little bit better in Indonesia than the Schecter. The specs on the Harley Benton guitar are actually something that you would see on a much more expensive guitar. You'd think they would have chosen this guitar, the Harley Benton, as the 70th anniversary of the Thomann company. But no, they went with Schecter. The guitar that I originally wanted to buy, but I think is quite a rip-off, this one. So that's what I originally wanted to buy, but Australian dollars, $2,800. Then another, say, $200 or $300 shipping. So you end up with about $3,000 for this guitar. Now this guitar here, if we have a look at the specs, I like the Roman numerals on the inlay there. It's got a better Floyd Rose. I think it has a 1500 series Floyd Rose. Yes, it does. Floyd Rose 1500 series, so a better tremolo. You would expect so for $3,000. Swamp ash body, ebony. See, here we go. This has an ebony fretboard. Now that Harley Benton guitar had an ebony fretboard, and it was under $1,000. If Harley Benton can do an ebony fretboard on a guitar under $1,000, surely the one that I got, which was the Schecter Demon 7, surely they can have an ebony fretboard. But no, they had a Wenge fretboard, and you'll see it's a pretty crappy fretboard. Here again, 24 extra jumbo frets. Doesn't even say stainless steel. So here we have Schecter making a $3,000 guitar when it's shipped. So we're talking about $3,000, possibly over $3,000, and not even including stainless steel frets. And yet Harley Benton can do it on a guitar that's under $1,000. So you should be ashamed of yourself, Schecter guitars. You should be putting stainless steel frets on all of your guitars, especially your more expensive guitars. So that's just unacceptable. Aesthetically speaking, the Schecter guitars are quite nice looking guitars, but value for money, I would say no. Harley Benton, yeah, value for money. Schecter, not so much value for money. They really want that cash. Let's see what happens when I go and unbox it and review it. Stay tuned. My Schecter guitar has arrived today. It's the 31st of December, New Year's Eve. What a good New Year's Eve present. A Schecter Demon 7-string guitar. So, going to do a little bit of an unboxing right now, so stay tuned. It's from Thomann, which is a German company. Well, Schecter's actually in the USA, and it's in California. But this guitar came all the way from Germany. It's in Queensland now. So it's had some probably some temperature changes from Germany being cold and then into Australia being very warm at the moment in summer in Australia. And so let's do the unboxing. So I've already undone the staples. Step back, there's the box. So it came in one big box. Let's have a look in this box. So lots of padding there, extra padding, so it didn't get damaged. Although when I got this box, I noticed that it has actually been, if you look at the corner of this box, it has got a big sort of chunk out of it, so maybe lucky that it did have two boxes. The actual guitar box, as you can see there, in this big box, and the padding and stuff that they put inside it. It'd be terrible to open it up and it's in several pieces. Just let me pause that while I cut the sides, the sticky tape on the sides. So, here we go. Let's have a little peek in there. Ooh! Look at that, there's the headstock. Ooh, that looks very sexy. Here we are. Oh, what's in here? What's in the box? Pink piece of paper. Dispose of electronical crap responsibly and put it in a bin. That's a strange thing to put in there. I thought I would see something about Schecter guitars, and I pull that out and it's about disposing of the rubbish. Ernie Ball restrung with premium Ernie Ball guitar strings. Ernie Ball, that's a very good good string. That's what I have on my other guitar. So, let's reveal it. Oh, exciting stuff. Get off. Come on, phone, get off there. Alright. Oh, here we go. Whoa, look at that. That's very sexy, isn't it? Look at that sexy Schecter 7-string guitar. I wonder if the camera's picking that up well or not. Throw the box down. Around. So there you have the Schecter Guitar Research, Sun Valley, California, USA. It's not actually made in the US, I think it's crafted in Indonesia, if I'm correct. Crafted in Indonesia, yes, that's correct. But they say that they're pretty good when they're from Indonesia. Looking at the neck, there's a couple of marks. No, that's just in the wood. Don't know whether you can see that, but there's two little marks that are actually part of the wood grain. Kind of looks a bit yucky though, those two little marks there, but in the wood grain, so that's not a problem. It's a little bit of a, you can see different things in the wood grain there. Looks pretty good. The joint is pretty good there. Yeah, it's got a plastic coating here to protect that. You can see a few scratches, but that's just on the plastic. Here we have a battery, so active pickups. Oh, it's actually in there. There's a battery in there. That's good. Schecter has their own tuners, which look fairly well made. Double locking tremolo, which is a Floyd Rose Special. Now, a lot of people say that the Floyd Rose Special tremolos are the crappiest ones out of all the Floyd Rose, but then I've heard other people say that they have no problem with them whatsoever. And this one looks very well inserted. Also has that foam kind of stuff in the recessed areas of the body. The whammy bar, that's probably in the box somewhere. The selector switch, three-way selector switch, that seems pretty good. Well, this grabs a little bit at 10. Pretty good though, this one. And this one's good at 10, but at 0 it grabs a little bit. Gothic crosses as the inlay. 24 frets in all. It's supposed to have extra jumbo frets. Fairly jumbo, I guess. I remember on the site it didn't say stainless steel jumbo frets. I think these are possibly just nickel frets. Let's see if there's any fret sprout. No, that's very good. Considering it's come from Germany, where it's cold now in December, and it's now here in very sweaty, humid Australia in Queensland. Now there's no sharp edges on the fret, so that's really good. Pickups are, well, the bridge pickup is slightly wobbly, but yeah, it's pretty good still. This one's nice and firm. I don't know whether you can see this on the camera or not, but what I did notice pretty much straight away was that the neck is very dry. When the neck's dry, it actually starts getting, you can see cracks. There's multiple little cracks all over the place. This wood is Wenge. W-E-N-G-E, Wenge. Maybe not the best type of wood for guitar fretboards. So that's what the fretboard is, Wenge. I think the neck itself is possibly maple. Looks like it might be maple. The neck is Wenge and it's very dry and it's got lots of cracks all over the place. It's not really the wood grain, it's actual cracks. This is a charcoal burst, I think they call it. So it's got a really nice finish. It's like a matte sort of finish, not a glossy finish or a satiny. It's more of a satiny or a matte type finish. It doesn't really leave fingerprints, which is good. Some of those matte finishes leave fingerprints when you put your fingers on them, but this one seems to be pretty good. Really nice neck, thin neck, fast neck. Yeah, everything about this guitar seems very, very well put together. Oh, the screws are slightly tarnished. See the wood grain in the neck, in the body at the back, which is nice. You can kind of see where the frets go into the wood, but nothing sharp. Quite a bit of weight. I think it's supposed to be 7 kilos or 7 point something, 7.2 kilos. So it's got a little bit of weight, which is a good thing. We have some good sustain to it. Nice looking headstock, which is the same as the body. It's that charcoal burst, I think it's called. So this is a Schecter Diamond Series 7-string Demon 7-string guitar, and I shall plug it in and play it. It's already in tune, so that's pretty good. They've set it up and they've even tuned it. So we'll put the whammy bar in, and I'll plug it in and I'll play it and see how it goes. Yeah, there's lots. The only negative is the neck being very dry and being a little bit like multiple little cracks all over the place. So you can oil necks, but you have to be careful that you don't put linseed oil, raw linseed. Raw linseed oil is very bad because it gets all gluggy and soaks into the wood and it doesn't dry properly. If you get what's called boiled linseed oil, it's much better. It dries a lot faster, and you have to use it very, very sparingly, and don't really soak it in, and do it once a year. I've had many guitars where I've never oiled them at all, but this one, because the neck's so dry, it might actually need to be oiled. What else can I say about it? I can just say that it's very well constructed. It looks very nice. The action on it is pretty good. It's not too high, it's not too low, but we'll get into that when I play it and see if there's any buzzes or anything like that. Yeah, it's a shame that the Wenge wood on the fretboard is very, very dry. Sexy looking guitar. Alright, so here we have some close-ups. I thought it was pretty important to put some close-ups in here for you. This Schecter Demon 7 was made in Indonesia. Then it was shipped to Germany, to Thomann. And Thomann, the funny thing about Thomann, they have B grade versions of their guitars too, so they have B stock, they call it, but I didn't actually purchase a B stock guitar. I purchased the full price guitar, which should have absolutely nothing wrong with it, but what it looks like to me is some dishonest business practices by Thomann, actually boxing up the B stock guitar, which is usually sells for about $100 less, and then just sending it to me full price. So I think that's what's happened there, and you can see these cracks here on the neck. They're pretty disgraceful, really. I mean, look how deep they are. You know, this close-up says it all. Now we're going to the Floyd Rose Special tremolo. Nothing very special about the Floyd Rose Specials, probably the worst of all the Floyd Rose tremolos. You can see that the right-hand side is higher than the left-hand side, so I think what they've done is they've tried to prevent string buzz. They've made it a little bit higher on the right hand side where the 7th string is, to get it a little bit further away from the fretboard, the cracked fretboard. Remember, it's a Wenge fretboard with heaps of cracks in it, cracks all over the place. The left and right hand sides, you can definitely tell that there's a difference. Here we have the inside, which is all fairly neat and tidy. You know, the pots, the springs, the wiring, it's all fairly well done. I didn't see any real problem with that. But the input jack is loose. When you put your lead in, you plug your lead in and it doesn't really go in, it sort of pops out. I had to actually undo that, and I had to tighten it and mess around with it until it was right and the lead didn't pop out. So I had to fix that myself, which I shouldn't have had to do. So again, I think I've been sold a B grade, or a B stock as they call it in Thomann. So Thomann, with their dishonest business practices, have let me down there. So no excuse, Thomann, for that sort of behaviour. Just showing the lid, or what would you call that, the little plastic that goes over the pots and for the tone knob and the volume knob, and that fits in well. Nothing wrong with that. My major disappointment with this guitar is the cracks in the fretboard. So fretboard cracks all over the place, and the kind of the rip-off price that Thomann charged me, and I wasn't going to ship it all the way back to Germany and wait for God knows how long for them to either reimburse me with the money or send me another one, because I don't really trust Thomann. I don't think I'll ever use Thomann again to buy any musical product. I don't know whether I don't really think it's Schecter's fault. Those poor sweatshop guys in Indonesia, I'm sure they probably did the right thing, and I'm pretty sure that the cracks probably would have happened as a result of being shipped from Indonesia, where it's hot and humid, to Germany, where it is cold, and the changes in the temperature have affected the wood, and that's the reason why you have all these horrific cracks all over the fretboard. Thomann should be ashamed of themselves, and they should really have... If this guitar actually came to them like this, with cracks all over the fretboard, they should have sent it back. But I think the reason they didn't send it back is because it didn't come to them with cracks all over the fretboard. I think that the cracks happened while in Germany, and they've just passed this off as a full-price guitar. So, very dishonest, Thomann. I would say definitely don't use Thomann to buy any musical products. So there we have the tremolo bar, or the whammy bar. There's nothing wrong with that. That's all good. It had issues, but it's still quite a nice guitar to play. And I've grown fond of it, and I feel sorry for it. It's like my little maimed pet. It's like a little pet that I have that's got 3 legs. It's like having a dog. It's like having a little dog, and it's only got 3 legs, and you feel sorry for it. It still works quite well, so I play this guitar, and I try and give it a little bit of love. So there you go. There's the Schecter Diamond Series 7-string guitar. So there you have it in all its, well, I won't say glory, in all its misery.